Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how you can make a quiz using Google Forms. So when you're on your Google Drive, you'll click the next button and the suggestions come down for Google Forms, and you can either create a blank form for quiz or from a template, but for this, make a quiz. Create and share. Let's call this test quiz. That'll automatically create the name for it. So on here you have different options for questions. So there's short answer, paragraph, checkbox, drop down, file upload, linear scale, multiple choice grid, checkbox, then date and time. So obviously for most quizzes you're going to want a name first. Then as you select the answer key, you want to make sure that's required. Obviously I don't want this to have a point associated with it. Next, date. Again, I don't want to make a point with that. So when you create a quiz and mark it there that you want it to be a quiz, it'll make every question automatically a point. So you can go in here to the settings and say you want to assign them. You want to do it later. They can go back and look at their questions. What's your default point value? This one right here, if you want to limit it within the users of your organization, then other people outside of it won't be able to access your link. So that's the key one, to make sure you deselect that one. So we'll do an actual question here. Let's say call true or false. So it automatically recognizes what you want to do. And you can either do multiple choice grid. For this one we'll just say true, false. And then again, make it required. Answer key, we'll just say this one's true. I'll mark it up here so I know that one is it. You can duplicate it, makes it a little bit easier for doing true and false questions. So I'll just make false. And then I'll show you here when you do a multiple choice grid. Very handy. You can put different questions. You can require answer in each row. So you can say, yep, this one's true. That one's false. And again, point values you can change based off what you want. So the difficulty part, let's say if you use a short answer or a paragraph, as you kind of have to get it right. So let's say you say you want the answer to be true answer. So for the answer key, correct answer would be true answer, true answer. And you have to mark all others as incorrect. So it doesn't really sense, you know, if there's different spellings or somebody incorrectly spells the word, or you can figure that out and put those bunch of different options there. But I try to avoid short answer or particularly paragraph questions, especially if you're trying to have it graded. If you're not trying to have it graded, it's not that bad to just have people text in. But usually I'm just doing multiple choice questions or grid boxes. So the grid box here, show you what this looks like. I don't use this one as much, but when you go over here to the eye, it'll preview it, so you can kind of take a look at it. Like I said, this one have one answer in each row. This one usually allows you to do 2 clicks in each box, which for true or false you probably wouldn't want to have. Most of the time, though, I recommend just using the multiple choice grid or creating your own true false questions. Look at it in another video, but you can actually link these quizzes to a certificate add-on, which is very helpful. That'll auto create certificates for you and send an email if you pass the class or whatever you choose the passing score to be at. And very handy, but it doesn't like these multiple choice grids, so I had to go back on my old quizzes and make them into true false individual questions, which was a little pain, but worth it in the long run. So if you want the form to collect emails, you can go back into the settings, responses, and say do not collect. Now if you're going to use a Google add-on that does an email certificate, the one I'm thinking of in particular is Certum, it does require that the individual have an email, which can be a pain, but most times I've been able to work through those types of individuals. Other things on here, you can add a section, you can add videos from YouTube, add an image, you can change a title and text or import questions. I don't typically do a whole lot of section adding in particular quizzes. Yeah. This will give you like the next section. I do like a few quizzes this way, but most of them I just have straight on up. So when you go view it, here's all the questions, and then you'll have a next. I'm going to have all the correct answers. That'll be the next section there. Other things in settings, when you go through it, the responses, if you collect them, if you allow them to edit it after they receive it, if you want to limit to one response, you can show progress. That really helps if you have the sections. If you don't really have sections, there's no point in showing that. You can shuffle the question order. Very interesting. I don't use that particularly too much. Most of the guys that take my quizzes are not really I'm not worried about them cheating off each other. You can change a confirmation order message. Show the summaries if you want. Some of the form defaults, like talked about the email collection, the question defaults. You can make all questions required by default, so you don't have to click each switch there when you go through. And then when you're done with this, you can simply just go over here to send. My most common is I'll take a link of it, I'll shorten it, and I'll either typically throw it on a QR or just somebody the link directly. You can embed this in a website too as well on there and send it over. The other piece is you can customize it, so you can change the color, the text, header, background color, the main color. So this could be orange or it could be blue. You can add your own custom color with a hex code, which is pretty nice. So you can make this somewhat customizable. You can add like a header up here, so your company's logo or whatever is up here at the top. It's makes it look a little bit more professional. Not just like a Google form. There's other add-ons that'll help you make this form look different, and we can look at some of those because there are a lot that you can do with Google with that. But yeah, this is the general overview of how to create a quiz on Google Forms.